Blog Talk Radio.
Playing Sports City Chefs from Amazon Music.
Yeah. Woo. Let's go. Y'all need to sit back, listen, enjoy the vibe. Sip something, light it up, enjoy the ride. Cause the Sports City Chefs is on tonight. In the kitchen cooking up, they on the rise. Sports City, chefs, chefs. Sports City, chefs, chefs. Sports City, chefs, chefs. Sports City, chefs. Yes, Lord, we got a brand new president. Joe Biden, we riding, I pray you heaven sent. Word from the wise, my people stay ahead of. Come on, I've been relevant, trying to survive the elements. It ain't no love in these streets, these dudes telling it. Case go from cold to hot, states evidence. Kaboom, Sports City Chefs is in the room. Cooking up hot topics to put up on your spoon. They well in tune, blown like a flower in June. Superman vs. MF Doom, the clouds loom. So tell a friend it's the Sports City Chefs again. Pay attention, tune in, we on the set again. Sports City, Chefs, Chefs. Sports City, Chefs, Chefs. Yeah. Cavs, Taj.
Connecticut. Look on this blazer, loosened up the tie, stepped aside. The Café Tymeless is alive. I'm feeling some type of way. The call-in number is 929-477-2759. But Sports City, I got to slow down. I got to acknowledge some people that had, some down situations happen throughout the weekend and today. I actually lost my uncle this weekend. So shout out to my Uncle Randy. And today, monumental, I can't really say monumental, but a notable wide receiver in the NFL that I watched his career from start to finish. A rest in peace shout out to V-Jack, Vincent Jackson, former receiver of the San Diego Chargers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I do want to give them credit because one of them meant a lot to me. The other wide receiver was inspired me. I want to give them their moment of silence before we set the cafe off. Moment of silence. Okay, fellas, I want to get into this as best as I possibly can. The chat room is wide open. We're doing as much as possible to get on every network. And thank you to everybody that's been giving us good, positive feedback. All of the shows that have been kicking off. I know I didn't think I'd be back to work this much, but I am. Sports City, we are back to 6 shows a week. And I love every last bit of it because the heat has been here in the kitchen. Every show has been getting great or positive feedback, so I'm thankful to everybody that's been giving us that love. Let me get to some of the notable figures that you know so well here in this kitchen, calling in by way of the state of Indiana, from the state of Delaware, R-Keezey, Mr. King. Royce, how are you feeling this evening in the cafe?
I'm feeling real good, Thomas, man. So excited to be here in the cafe, doing big things here with you. All the wonderful things happening for Sports City and all the chefs is really exciting, brother. Thanks for having me once again.
You already know that you already got your eyes over there and your pots and pans and a couple of mixing spoons, and I'm getting ready to set this thing off as best as possible. Without any further ado, I have another brother of mine calling from the mountain region of the United States. They call him Big Easy. Eric Gross, welcome to the cafe. How are you feeling this evening?
I am feeling great tonight, my brothers. It's the Sports City Chefs on Power 103 Radio tonight. We thank everybody for opening up your weekend with us, or your weekday. Here we go. It's Monday. It's the Master Chefs Crossover Cafe.
That is right. And again, thank you for Eric being on top of his stuff because I was rushing to get in here. Shout out to Power 103 Radio for them taking care of us and holding us down, power103radio.com. Again, we will be plugging them throughout the show because they've actually got us up on the site. So I like that little look. That's looking good for Sports City. We've worked hard to get this opportunity and the notability as well. Now, there are a lot of things going on in the NBA in which there's something that we've been talking about here in the kitchen as well as in other networks, NBA on CH, another brotherhood of mine that I'm aligned with, and they've been taking care of Sports City as well. I want to do these one by one. I don't want to group them, even though I can group them. I think I should group them to save time because I know we eat like crazy in here. But the Cleveland Cavaliers have now shut down Andre Drummond for potential trade. Now, they're saying that it looks like he may end up in Toronto. I think that may be because there's smoke there. I think he could actually go somewhere else and cause fire and put a team to a potential final, like respective conference final, if he goes to the right location. But I think he definitely gives a great lift to one of these top 8 teams, was definitely in the East since his whole career has been in the Eastern Conference. But even if he goes to a team that needs a big of his caliber, I think he helps that team instantly. So that's one guy with Andre being shut down by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the second one is Blake Griffin of the Detroit Pistons. Now, it's interesting about Blake's situation because Blake has been out of the lineup for quite some time, hit or miss when he's there. One of the stats that, like, my eyebrows raise, even though it's not really a real official stat, it's not a stat, but Blake Griffin has not caught a dunk in over a year. In over a year, he has not gotten to the rim. We all know that Blake is one of those high flyers, finishes at the rim. When he was in L.A., I used to call him the bull in the China shop because all he wanted to do was get to the rim and finish. And he's basically settled to be a jump shooter. And I guess once he started seeing shots fall, he's kind of felt content with that situation. But nevertheless, the Detroit Pistons are trying to shop him around. I want to see how you guys feel about these guys. And we'll start first with Andre Drummond because I feel like he's the bigger piece at this moment, even though I can't overlook what Blake can bring to a team. But your guys' thoughts, Andre Drummond, I'll come to you first, Royce, with the expectancy of him landing somewhere else soon.
But I think it's pretty interesting, Thomas, that they decided to put both Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin in the walk-in refrigerator, if you will, if I can say that here, inside Sports City. I mean, we are the chefs, and sometimes you got to, cook something up, and then you might have to store it. And that's what's happening in Cleveland. They're searching, trying to find the right package. I don't think this will be a one-team deal, meaning there might be a 3-team trade for Andre Drummond. Given his salary, it's going to be hard to find a match. And Andre Drummond, the player, certainly would not want to relinquish or give up his bird rights via a buyout. So all things being considered, while there are a number of teams who are probably in playoff contention and might desire his services, his presence, his ability to rebound, get his hands on loose balls and steals, deflections, the occasional blocks. I mean, look, we know who he is at this point in his career, and at a player who's still under the age of 28. Certainly, Andre Drummond's going to be thinking about what's best for himself financially. So, Tymeless, they're going to have to sit down with Andre Drummond over the next couple of weeks, getting into this trade deadline, and come up with a destination where Andre would, can kind of see himself playing during his next contract. I mean, because he's going to get a new deal. What the price tag is on it, I have no idea. But if I'm Andre Drummond, I'm working with the general manager there to get myself to a destination where I can see myself playing for the next few seasons.
Okay, Eric, your thoughts on Andre Drummond, and to kind of feed off of what Roy said, where his potential may end up and what team he can help in the near future once Cleveland decides to pull the trigger, if and when, if it is multiple teams too involved.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why, they're talking about this. He's averaging 17.5 points a game, 13.5 rebounds. So, I mean, the guy is obviously going to be a big boost for any team that acquires him, especially these playoff teams. You can throw in the Clippers, Lakers, Celtics, Heat, numerous teams that would benefit from his services. So, I don't know why Cleveland is doing this, because Cleveland has a a really good young team right now and are turning heads and surprising a bunch of people, and they're in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. So I'm kind of wondering, what's going on there. This always boggles my mind when teams do this. I understand you want to drop big contracts and stuff like that, but, when you've got a quality player and you're in the midst of things, it makes you wonder what's going on. Is he not happy there, or what's going on is the question. So, but Andre Drummond will definitely be a nice addition for any of these playoff teams. A few of them this guy will will help him get over the hump. So he can play defense. He's a great rebounder. He can score. So it's a plus overall. I don't know why Cleveland is getting rid of this guy. Like I said, they're in the playoff hunt. So, and they have a good little tandem with him and Allen. So those are my thoughts on it, gentlemen.
Ty, thinking about what Eric just said, to shed some light, I think this is an extended domino effect from the championship run that the Cavaliers had with LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love. We know Cleveland still stuck Kevin Love's salary, and there's been no taker for Love the past few seasons. The biggest concern is probably they can foresee no one's stepping up for that contract, and they're probably not going to be able to buy him out. Probably need another season or two before that probably makes sense. However, with the way they've drafted, the guard play, and then trading for Jared Allen, who, if my memory serves correctly, I believe he's only 22 years of age, they're starting to set themselves up with a nice future. The rookie they got this season via draft, Isaac Okoro, he is leading that team in minutes played. A rookie at 35 to 36 minutes a night, NBA ready. That being said, Drummond is the closest, in terms of a asset, in terms of player, closest to the age of 30. Certainly, he's looking for another max deal, somewhere in the neighborhood of what he's getting, 28 a season or more. That being said, they got to get him out of there, right? Because they're not on the same track, Will. They're not on the same team in terms of building nowadays through the draft and developing guys who are on a similar timeline in terms of their age. So when we take that into consideration, I think that we can, view this time as that there's not really any issues between the player, the coach, or within the team dynamic. It's just it's not probably the best fit for what the vision is for management at this point in time moving forward, as they, again, like I said, attempt to recover financially, get some better contracts on the books, get some bad deals off the books, and, Drummond is in the final year deal. So as opposed to lose Drummond for nothing as an unrestricted free agent, it's best to sit down with him if he's willing to work, and clearly it appears he's willing to work with management and to try to find him a home where he can retain bird rights and they can get at least a player and maybe a pick for his services, Thomas.
If somebody tell Royce that we're going to fight, okay? Like, that's exactly what I was going to respond when he goes right in front of after Eric started cooking and finished, and I was going to apply right that pressure. Royce like, hold on, Thomas. I'm like, so that's what I was going to say is about it being a fit and knowing that what he is. I really can't think of any team that would want to let go of a center that's getting 17 points and 13 rebounds. It'd be hard to watch any team watch that happen. The fit with Cleveland is not working, and it's not his fault. I don't think it's his fault because they know what they got when they got him. They are right now on a 7-game losing streak when they were just in the hunt after beating Brooklyn on back-to-back nights, and everybody questioning Brooklyn's defense, and now they fell into the pits again, notably on a season-by-season basis on what the Cavaliers have done. And I actually applaud Cleveland by actually watching him go somewhere else and being able to do something while Cleveland is still in rebuild mode and trying to figure themselves out. But it's tough to see where he can.
Look at it like this. So they had Tristan Thompson, right? I guess you could call that like a good move. They moved to a better move with the opportunity there for Drummond. And then lo and behold, the best move for how they were building in terms of the timeline of the player personnel, Jared Allen. So you hit the nail on the head. He did absolutely nothing wrong. I don't think management even did anything wrong when they acquired the rights to Andre Drummond via trade. Was that a season and a half ago? It's just like no one knew that Jared Allen was going to become available because Brooklyn had its sights set on somebody. So this is just them trying to, continue their good fortune, man. This could be the start of something special in Cleveland. The only thing that gave me trepidation for the Cavs was the release, if you will, of one Kevin Porter Jr. I thought he was an outstanding young talent, and I was really, really excited about a Garland, Sexton, Porter Jr. Trio. But I guess they figured they got enough offense. They went with the young guy, Isaac Okoro, on the defensive side. So anyway, man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Cleveland.
Right, and I think now it becomes like a 2-year situation because I don't think this is an instant impact of how they finish the season and what they're able to do in the off season with the draft and potential free agents that they could pull into Cleveland, especially being around the young talent of Sexton. And, we also talked about Jared Allen coming there, who's actually made a name for himself out there in Brooklyn and coming here and probably becoming another one of the big names for this respected organization. But Andre Drummond, I wonder where you end up falling, or not even say falling, but whatever team you end up landing to play along with. And I just want to see if it is what Royce said about another team being involved to make this contract and situation work. If it is a situation where he does end up with Toronto, Toronto is now in 8th in the Eastern Conference, sitting at 12-15, and this is actually a tough season for Toronto, 5-5 in their last 10 played. They do need a big while they watch the likes of Ibaka leave and Gasol go, so he would be the biggest piece that they have to fill in the front court. But I still think that they need to figure out what they're going to do on the wing, whether it's going to remain Norman Powell. You hear the situation of Norman possibly being moved, or another power forward that could come into play and actually help Siakam, because Siakam has actually had his question marks within this season. And I don't know if it's the fact that if Kawhi left, it brought more attention to him and him being the most improved player. But there's things that Toronto has to figure out moving forward, especially as we get closer and closer to the end of February, approaching the midway point of the season. Okay, so now we're going to go from the one individual to the next to Blake Griffin. Now, this is where it gets pretty interesting, at least to me, because Blake, I don't know if I want to say is, but I want to be fair and say was a superstar. And with him actually declining, and I want to say more, I don't even know if I'm being fair by calling him injury prone, but he's consistently injured. It's kind of hampered his career. With him playing with the Pistons, it's almost like they consider that the NBA, graveyard, to say the least. A lot of these players go there and they go through the motions and hopefully get moved out, things of that nature. So many select coaches have come there and not really figured out how to, pattern a team other than what Larry Brown was able to do. But Blake Griffin on the trading block, being shut down until a team bites at the bait. I want to see how you guys feel about this. Your thoughts on Blake Griffin and just looking at the teams that he could potentially land with. I know that there was one situation of him potentially going back home. I don't know if I want him. Like he's an Oklahoma City guy where he was born and raised, and the thing about the Thunder, they need a big. They need a guy that can actually step out and shoot, but also get to the rim. But Blake hasn't been going to the rim. So your thoughts on Blake Griffin? What's been going on in his career since he's more or less moved from L.A. to Detroit, and a potential landing spot or destination for him. Eric, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on Blake Griffin?
All right, Ty, here's a guy that is a career 21.4 points per game, type of guy. So he can help a lot of teams out, but you just touched on it. Since he's at the tail end of his career in Los Angeles, he started getting hurt, and he's been hurt his whole time in Detroit. So he's kind of starting to remind me of Kevin Love. The guy can play, but is he going to be on the hardwood contributing for you? That's the real question here. So if I'm any team, I'm looking at Andre Drummond first. That's a no-brainer right there. The guy can play. He's going to be there for you. Blake Griffin is going to be on the bench. So, I don't know. Of course, he can benefit a team if he's healthy, but I'm looking other routes. Like you just touched on, Detroit being the graveyard. When they made that trade, they were banking on Blake Griffin being the superstar he was with the Clippers, and it hasn't panned out. And since Chuck Daly and Larry Brown, like you touched on, the Pistons have been on a coaching carousel. So I think it'd be great for the Pistons to get rid of him, obviously, because they're tied up with that massive contract. So when they're in rebuilding mode, they got some nice young stars. But I thought with them getting this coach this year that it would be good because we all know what he did in Toronto. But, you got to have players that care and buy into your system. And I think Detroit's full of a bunch of players that are for themselves and they're not following the system. So it's going to be hard either way you look at it over there. But I think it'd be good for the Pistons to dump this contract and see what they can get in return. But I just don't see teams lining up for Blake Griffin. So that's my take.
I actually slightly disagree with you. I don't think if he goes to another team that he'll be on the bench. It depends on if his health is there. If he's healthy and able to give it a go.
That's what I was saying, Ty. If he's healthy, obviously this guy's going to be in the lineup. I was saying he's going to be on the bench because he's hurt. So not by any means that he's not going to be ready to fill in. So
okay, just had to verify that I heard this correctly. Okay.
Yep.
So, Royce, your thoughts on Blake Griffin with his run from the Clippers to here in Detroit and possible destination and his impact to whichever team you allude to?
So, let me first start, Ty, by reframing the perspective on Blake Griffin. We won't say that he's injury-prone. Let's say his career has been injury-riddled from the start. Remember, he was drafted in 2009. And he did not play that rookie season, 09 through 10, due to a knee injury. Okay? He bounces back 2010, 2011. He wins Rookie of the Year. He's on the all-rookie team. Simply to come back in would have been his third season, but in terms of actual on-court play, his sophomore year, and he only plays, the 66 games. Now, I don't recall if that 66 is the lockout season or if that was due to the injury. I might even need some correction there. But we know that Blake has had significant injuries. The strength of what his game has always been, and that's his athleticism. He was always a freak of nature athletically, his ability to out-beat guys. We saw all of the posters. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why he sees the superstar treatment, even though skills-wise early on he didn't have a superstar skill set to start his career, but he had superstar athleticism. He got attention and gave us a reason to watch the Los Angeles Clippers and to even think that they might have a chance. And once that trade was nixed with Chris Paul to the Lakers and Chris Paul became a Clipper, everybody started to think the unthinkable. Playoffs into finals? Oh, my goodness. But snake bit. Blake Griffin has, in my opinion, Blake Griffin has had a phenomenal career. He has overcome the adversity that his body has faced. Some 10, 11 seasons now. And it's caught up to him. Blake Griffin is a guy who struggled at the free throw line mightily. His first 3 seasons, got out of the 50s and 60s into the 70s, and their improved his career percentages that if we round it up, he is a career 70% free throw shooter when this guy basically started out in the low 60s times. And so he's improved his three-point shooting in the sense that he's taking them. He's not the percentages, but I say again, Blake Griffin is doing the job of someone who has been a superstar, had the endorsement, who won awards, who's been deep into the playoffs as far as he could carry his team, rather not deep like Western Conference Finals or Finals. But he's been in a variety of situations. At this point, Thomas, the question becomes, is Blake Griffin more of a Vince Carter, Jared Dudley, or is he somehow, some kind of way, I don't even know where to go, not a Robert Horry, but I'm just saying like a guy that could help, a Sean Marion or a Jason Kidd, somebody who at one point played, had one identity in their youth, and then in the twilight of their career, they had to reestablish themselves with a new identity. I don't know what that looks like for Blake Griffin, struggling tremendously with his shot from the field. So can Blake be a mid-range shooter as opposed to a three-point shooter? Because attempting 6 to 7 three-pointers a game is not working for him. I think he fell in love with it in the 18-19 season. I'm looking at his player card. He attempted 7 threes a game, shot 36% from three during that campaign. That was the last time he played upwards of 70 games. But since then, Tymeless has been abysmal. You're talking 24, and currently this season only 32% three-point shooter. So Blake Griffin's got to figure some things out. Maybe it's just a need for a change of scenery and a reset. We might see glimpses of the old Blake. And wow, that stat that you put out there, or that little factoid, hard to believe Blake Griffin hasn't dunked the basketball in an NBA game. Don't have a team for Blake. He, like Andre Drummond, I think, it's going, well, different than Drummond. I think the Pistons will probably strongly consider a buyout for Blake. I remember a few seasons ago, they bought out Josh Smith, stretched his money. He's probably still getting paid today. So I wouldn't be surprised they go the same route with Blake if they could come to an amicable term between the parties for Blake Griffin. Who needs a power forward? Go ahead, Thomas.
Okay, we do have the kitchen heating up, so I guess this topic has gotten people involved. We do have Naj in the building. Naj, welcome to your slot here at the Cafe. How are you feeling this evening?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. What's going on with y'all boys, man?
Cooking, and people are eating. We also have Ron in the building.
Hey.
I'm kicking
we
in
also
the
have,
door. Let's talk about some new power forwards. I'm kicking in the door. The Cafe, what's up?
I'm trying to get these people in, but Royce eating, y'all. I tried. I'm like, listen, I want him to cook though. I can't stop him because he's putting jewels out, so I can't get mad at what he's doing. Okay, so I'll start with you first. Naj, your thoughts on what's been stated. I don't know how much you caught of the Drummond situation, but both of these players have been shut down between Andre Drummond being the center and Blake being the power forward. Your thoughts on their potential landing spots and what they've done thus far in their NBA careers?
Yeah, well, this is just part of the new NBA. Back in the day, they would say a guy has tendonitis, and all of a sudden he wouldn't be in the lineup anymore. Now everything is kind of open, and people are being transparent. Look, we're trying to move this guy. If we can get something for him, we will. If we can't, we possibly have to do a buyout. But this is what we're doing. So I think the NBA fans are a little smarter now. So all of that stuff they used to have to do back in the day, all the theatrics, they don't have to do anymore so people can kind of discuss this stuff. Y'all hit Drummond. I think y'all hit everything on the head on Drummond. The one thing I disagree on is the status of the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are actually in a good place right now. They're doing the rebuild, as they should. The problem in the past has been them trying to get quick fixes and get a playoff team when, these were Hail Mary type the Josh Smith era, the Blake era. Like, those things were never going to work anyway. Now they're doing the right thing. They got the kid Bay and Isaiah Stewart as the two rookies who they want to get playing time to, along with bringing in my man from Denver, bringing in the two people from Denver, Miles Plumlee and also my boy. So they got young pieces who they need to give. Jeremiah Grant. So they got young pieces who they need to give minutes to, and that's what they're in the process of getting to. And then if the Grant situation doesn't work out in a few years, he won't be a part of the rebuild. He'll move on to another contender, and they'll keep trying to do what they're doing right now, which is get young kids on the floor. Now, remember, all of this is being done without Killian Hayes playing. He got hurt earlier in the season, and I think he's not going to be back until the end or next year. So Detroit is on pace to do what they do. Dwayne Casey is coaching well. Look up their losses. They got one of the closest point margins in the NBA. They're losing a lot of close games and then beating teams that are way better than them sometimes. So this is a scrappy, tough team that comes to play every night. I respect all of those dudes, man. They're acting like pros and give them their flowers, man. You see a dude like Wayne Ellington, barely in the league, scrapping, fighting for a position, shot the lights out last month. It's cold this month, so he may be back on the bench. But that dude is fighting for his NBA life with these young guys, and he's teaching them the things that Royce was just talking about as far as what extends your career, being a pro-type guy. Blake is going to go somewhere and be the second unit kind of facilitator. That's probably his role for the rest of his career, mid-range shooter and a passer, a guy who can create for other people. But as far as, the explosive, first option, all-star, starting minutes, that kind of stuff, all that's in the wind, man. That's gone. He's an older guy. I don't even want to say injury-prone. Hell, we all injury-prone. He's just a freak athlete that at a certain point, man, you got to pay the bill for all of those collisions and all of that loud and tough landing on your knees and all that violent movement. Like, sooner or later you're going to have to pay the bill. Now, the Blake attitude, the frat boy guy that Blake is, I don't know how willing he's going to be to accept that role and in which teams he can be cool enough to get that elder statesman, respected guy role on the team. That part is where it's going to get a little funny. Yeah, besides that, man, y'all hit on everything with this.
Look at this guy coming to cook. Okay, so Ron, your thoughts on either both of these players are up on the platter here between Andre Drummond being shut down and Blake Griffin. Your thoughts on both individuals, especially them being in the Eastern Conference. Will any, if any, of these guys be in the Western Conference coming up soon?
That's the proper term, on the platter. Because one is trying to be tossed out in the trash, which is Blake, because he's got too much child support to be playing. If he's smart, he go to the Suns and hook up with Chris Paul and join a winning organization. And people used to go to Phoenix to also rehabilitate. Grant Hill was out there for a number of years. Penny, something's going on with Phoenix where guys seem to get healed and they get a couple of good years towards the end of their career added on. If he's smart, the rumor always been the Phoenix Suns always had the great rehab going on out there. And remember, he came in the league. He missed his first year. Why? Broken foot. Lob City, when they was winning 60 games, always seemed to go down right in the playoffs with Chris Paul. So he's always had that LaDainian Tomlinson thing going on with him where he's not there in the clutch. Detroit rebuilding, I've been hearing that for years, and they haven't drafted well at all in the last 15 years. Plenty of YouTube documentaries on that. And if they was rebuilding, they would have kept Christian Wood and built around him. He's putting up numbers in Houston, but he's down right now. So Detroit, they're going to have to sit down for a bit. As far as Drummond, the Cavs need to hold on to him. Do not trade him to Brooklyn. Do not let Brooklyn get Draymond, get Draymond. See what you can get for him, and that's the best move. You don't want to risk nobody catching COVID and getting injured. L.A. is going to be on the phone because if Anthony Davis got to sit down for a bit. I think Portland, we talked about Portland last week. Portland's heating up. They need a big body. I'm sure they're feeling offers. Drummond is still out for another deal. He'll be fine. Blake, if he need to catch on somewhere, have a good playoff run, that should be his main goal. But I don't know. He got kids with Matt Leinart's baby mom, so he's got to stay in the league for a little bit.
Interesting.
There's always
And
coming.
say that again, Nas. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
Yeah, Bills don't stop, man.
You gotta stop dropping them kids, baby. You're gonna be hanging on the lead. But Phoenix has rehabbed a lot of guys towards the end of their career. Grant Hill, who else was out there? For a while, it was just older guys was going out there. I remember Rex Chapman towards the end. A lot of guys went out to Phoenix and was just, rehabbing and hanging on for a few good years.
You're right about Phoenix, but Blake and Chris are not doing the reunited because it feels so good. Like, this ain't people that hurt. Come on, bro.
Listen, sometimes you gotta swallow. You gotta come knocking on that door. You gotta be that ex that welcome back. You gotta come on. You gotta say you was wrong and try to make it work. The Suns. Chris Paul's on his last leg too. He's pushing that Phoenix Suns, which everyone knew was going to happen. Now you're bringing some veterans to help shore up their playoff run. But Drummond, they cannot. Cleveland is not going to help LeBron. They are not going to help LeBron.
Well,
I think the Blazers need to get on the phone.
I would say
that's interesting. No, that's an interesting team. The Blazers need a big. That's actually interesting that you threw the Blazers out there. That is very interesting, especially with the likes of Jokic being down. Cantor, in and out, especially he just got hit over the eye, but I think that should be stitched up if he get back into the game. But they definitely could use a big. So that's interesting to see which one would potentially go there. If it's more, which one do you think would fit that system
what do they have
better?
That they want?
Yeah.
That's
say that
the
again.
issue with that. What do they have that Cleveland would want? That's the only issue there. Like when you say the Lakers, you're talking about Tucker first immediately.
No,
And I don't think the Lakers are willing to give up Tucker. And then Portland, y'all said, okay, what, Nasir Little in picks? Or what do they have to give that's going to beat what Cleveland could get from somebody else?
I don't think everyone's banging down their door for Cleveland, though. I think only the contenders will be banging down their doors for Drummond. That's the key part, is who's calling. But this whole help the Lakers out, that's not going for it. And you don't want to just waive him and let Brooklyn just get the exact piece they need.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're openly sitting him with the idea of a deal being forthcoming, and the Raptors being the main rumor out there, I think they are getting offers. I don't think this is a thing that they're not getting offers and they're just going to have to eat Drummond's money. No, I think they're getting offers, and they're going to take the best one. My bad, though, Royce. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You weren't muted at all.
So Portland has Zach Collins. Who I'm thinking, right? Thinking timeline in terms of the age of what they're building in Cleveland. Drummond's just not much older than everybody in terms of their core pieces. Collins fits the timeline. Obviously, he doesn't fit in terms of the salary. Like I said, if there's a trade for Cleveland and Drummond, I think it has to be a 3-team deal. There is, and from my research, there really isn't much of a straight-up trade for Drummond that he might find desirable. There may be a couple of teams that I've overlooked. If anybody else has seen something, please, put it on the table so we can discuss it. But, yeah, I wouldn't worry about Drummond to Brooklyn. Chances are that doesn't happen because there's no way a smart businessman is going to take a buyout and give up his bird rights just to go to Brooklyn and play with, that team over there. If I'm Drummond, I'm not doing that for my business end. So he's going to want to retain his bird rights and go somewhere where, he can get maximum money.
Yeah.
Who say Drummond deserve max money? It's a new NBA. He's the only center that's still trying to dominate the paint. His number's always been a little fluff because he can't extend. He's horrible at the free throw line. He's like the old dinosaur that's about to be put out the pasture. So I don't think it's going to be max money coming his way.
Yeah, even if it's not
But
max,
it doesn't
we're
have, it
still
doesn't have
talking about a significant contract. Yeah,
$30 million.
right.
Sorry,
And the other part of it
is
is Drummond has limitations, but you know what they are. You know what I mean? There comes a point where it's like, okay, he can't do this, this, and this, but he can do these two things really well. How do we implement that? What team needs it? Toronto would be the team that needs it.
I.e. Rudy Gobert. Like, we know what Rudy Gobert doesn't do. Everybody's talked about it. But what he does just got this dude a ridiculous bag of money. And so this is the thing about Drummond. He's in that class. You don't like his role. He doesn't look like the quote-unquote modern big man. But there's no denying that you don't necessarily have to dump it down to him. And he's okay with that. He's such a professional at his position, who he is, so he eats glass. Those 14 points that he's averaging per game, he gets it off the glass, not because he was a la Dwight Howard, feed me the ball, give me the ball. Nah, he eats glass, getting 13 to 17, some nights 20-plus rebounds, and he's getting at least 2 assists. He's getting a steal and a half and a block and a half. You can set your watch by his career seasonal stat line. If you don't believe me, just bring up the player card. I'm not embellishing. I'm not making it up. The guy does his job, and he's not an issue. Like, I've never heard anything about Andre Drummond in the locker room. So there are some teams out there who probably should reach for Drummond, but maybe because of how they manage their finances to this point, they might not want to commit to him for the reasons that you alluded to. He doesn't fit direction of, quote-unquote, the modern NBA, and we know everybody's a copycat because most of these GMs just not strong enough to do their own thing and build a winner. I'm taking shots at the league. My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I want to do a quick update before we continue to go on. Score-wise, speaking of Cleveland, they're up by 1 on Golden State, but Steph is off to an awesome start, 16 points in the first quarter. Hopefully this doesn't continue because he could end up with a 60-point night in front of Sexton. So this can get ugly. Watch this close. Miami's up by 2 on the Clippers in L.A., 40-38 on NBA TV. The Utah Jazz are up 9 on the Philadelphia 76ers, in which Joel Embiid is resting. I wanted to see him and Gobert go at it, but he is chilling. So I don't want to call it too soon, but Utah is up close to 10. And to round out the situation, the dynasty of the Sacramento Kings, they are up 1 point on the Brooklyn Nets. So start of the dynasty happening in the NBA. Yeah. And the games that have gone final, the Chicago Bulls have beaten the Indiana Pacers in Naptown, 120-112. The Washington Wizards but beat them by 12, 131-119 up against the Houston Rockets. In which the Rockets are still being bitten by the injury bug. And last but not least, if you did not get your popcorn ready, the New York Knicks have beaten the Atlanta Hawks by 11 points, 123-112, in which Julius Randle goes off for doggone near 50 points. He has a 44-point night, 9 rebounds in play in the Garden. So that is the pressure up, if you will, score-wise across the league.
What would be Atlanta Hawks?
Park it. Put it in park.
What would be the Atlanta Hawks talked about?
Hold on. Wait, hold on. One at a time. I'm putting plates out so these people are eating. Like, slow down, fellas, slow down. Okay, so we do have a Hawk fan here. We do have a Knicks fan here. I'll start there. How do you guys feel about this? Because this was something that Eric wrapped up and said, we got to put this out here in the cafe. So I'm gonna go there first. I'll get to him now. I'll go to Nas first. Nas, your thoughts on the efforts of Julius Randle for going for close to 50, a 44-point night up against your Hawks while you guys are traveling into the city?
Yeah, man, it was a really good game, man. Good to watch. I think people saw the best and the worst of the NBA. You got to see a guy play his ceiling game, and you also got to see a lot of the reasons that so many people are upset at Trae Young for the way that he played in this game. It was a Luka Harden-esque performance where he was constantly hunting fouls, constantly kind of disrupting the flow of the game just by not playing the way that he should. And I think that ended up hurting them a lot today. But Julius was phenomenal today, man. He was hitting everything, had the jumper working. He was creating for people. I mean, there's really nothing else to be said. I mean, this dude had a career day. He had it going, and he killed the Hawks. Capella had a good game. Cam Reddish late in the game started to, make a few plays that'll make you raise your eyebrows. Andre Barrett was really nice this game as far as creating for other people and scoring. The point guard situation is still a little I would like to see more quickly from the Knicks. But, no, it's a regular season game, man. Knicks won. Good game. Shout out to Julius Randle, man.
And on that note, Thomas, I'm going to just slide this right here to echo what Nas said. Dear NBA player from a referee, dear any player, you cannot influence the whistle of a good referee. I highly recommend you adjust your game to the whistle and stop expecting the whistle to adjust to your game. You have been advised.
Wait, well, hold on. Before you do that, LeBron did it just recently and he got warned by the league, and he actually got the whistle that he wanted to call, but it didn't happen. So it does happen. It does happen. But it's bad.
It really doesn't. What happens for the stars is like, come on, man. First of all, you remember Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Remember Magic?
No, I don't.
Remember Larry
I don't
Bird?
remember him.
Listen. If you don't carry a particular name and the brand, meaning it's not your name, when the league puts its brand on your back and you're the face of the league, you get what they no more, no less. For the rest of you guys, stop expecting it to happen. You know, if you breathe wrong on said player, it's a foul. So I say again, adjust your game to the whistle and stop expecting the whistle to adjust to you. To Nas's point, Trae Young is playing himself. He's slowing up his progression. He is hindering it by not just being smart. Play basketball, man. Understand what calls you're getting and the calls you're not going to get. And clearly, go back to that game where Cauley Stein ran through him. Now, had I been officiating that game, first of all, the person who probably should have made the call was the lead official because there was really no activity in his primary area. And then you had the center official on the opposite side of the ball who could have been looking through the action, who didn't have any action in his primary area. So they all should have been lending support to the official who was in the trail position inbounding the basketball. And so clearly Trae Young doesn't know who has what responsibilities and who he should be talking to about what calls were made and were not. And so for him to turn around and go off on the guy who's got the ball coverage, do you know how quickly somebody going to come up and set a screen? You oftentimes need the off-ball official with no activity in his primary area to lend support so he can call out and blow his whistle on those illegal screens if you feel like that's what happened or if somebody runs through a player. Yes. Do I think maybe it should have been a foul called on that? Certainly. But none of those officials had a whistle. Play through it. Live through it. Deal with it. The fact that he acted ASSS and screamed on that official, oh, yeah, buddy, get ready for a long season, my friend, a long season. It's probably going to be a lot of calls you don't get this season because you acted a fool. You took shots at the referees. No ref, no game. Without them, man, you just practice.
Yeah, man. There's a reason in Goodfellas your man got murked after they killed old boy. He was a made man.
Geez.
You can't touch a made man.
Billy Bat?
So Mike gets the calls. Exactly. Mike gets the calls. Magic got the calls. Bird got the calls. Bron gets the they get those calls, and until you're a made man, you're not getting those calls, and you're not going to force them to give them to you. You're just going to look like he looked, or you're going to look like Luka looks on certain nights when he's whining.
Wait, but LeBron's situation happened on a box out. He was getting boxed out and fell backwards. like that wasn't no charge or somebody using their shoulder or giving him the chicken wing. LeBron just was he was boxed out too good and just used his hands and arms and flopped him like he was doing the backstroke.
You're thinking about this the wrong way. Yes, it was a bad call. Yes, it shouldn't have been called. The point was,
I got you.
If you're a made man, you get the possibility of getting those calls.
Quick question.
The night before, you saw what Trae Young did at the end of the game. Yeah. The Hawks lost. Bogdanovich, I think, took the final shot. And Trae Young went flipping out on the ref looking for a call on him on a pick. So, and then like you said, tonight he's trying to force things. He's got nothing coming. He just like you said, Nas, perfectly. Until you're a made man, you got nothing coming. So.
Well, tonight that wasn't the case because in the first half, though he was 3 of 9, he took 12 free throws in the first half. So with him, we talk about Magic and Jordan, but see, they're calling for calls in the heat of the action. I'm driving, I'm looking. These guys are not even trying to score the basket. They're just dribbling and trying to make a fake, dupe the ref, and I'll shoot and send me to the free throw.
Yeah, flailing themselves.
It's annoying. We get on Reggie coming on screens, pushing on, sticking his leg out. All right, that's one thing. But now it's getting ridiculous. LeBron at 6'8", and I ain't want a guy's name, LeBron. It's different when Vlade had to guard Shaq. Okay. Any slight movement. Okay, I'm falling all over the place. Okay, but now it's getting to the point. Even the NFL, not to switch games, NFL's doing this nonsense. Soon I don't catch the ball, I'm looking at the ref. And this nonsense. The guys do not want to play on. Let the refs make these guys are bigger and faster, but yet they falling all over the place. It's getting ridiculous.
Back.
And then with the way they calling with the guards, they took out hand checking, right? So now these guys are flying through the lane. So now I close out on you, you got to land. I close out on your jumper, I can't touch nothing. Now if you dribble in front of me and push it off on me, I can't even put my hands on your hip. What more do you want? And trust me, New York, we're going to put some more respect on that Randall kid. But the way Trae Young never really got his shot going, why? Because he was driving, and he's missing his floaters because he got too much weight on his back trying to draw attention, trying to get to the free throw line instead of just using the space to the score. So that's why Atlanta lost. And Randall wasn't having it. And, yes, Quigg needed to keep coming off the bench, and the way New York is using him now is D-Rose handle the ball and let Quigg come off the screen so you can't trap him. So we won game under 500, and let's keep moving. Now, I told you the kids in Atlanta, I don't know. The kids in Atlanta were fraudulent. I was calling it. That kid, Trae Young, better get his act together.
So you wouldn't trade your roster right now for the Hawks roster?
Excuse? I mean, of course. I mean,
so you wouldn't trade your Knicks roster for the Hawks roster?
Are we taking the rosters with the expectations?
I'm just saying, just in general.
That's the conversation.
I understand the Knicks have been in darkness for a long time. I got a little light, but calm down.
I am quite calm. I'm in the cafe. I'm sipping my little cappuccino with my legs crossed in the corner.
No. I mean that as Knicks fans. Knicks fans, calm down. Y'all got a little light right now.
Nah.
Look it up.
Put the expectation for the Hawks. Nah. If we pass the Hawks this year,
I got your back,
if we pass the Hawks this year with that little light-skinned little angel down there flocking all over the place. And Collins got to play some defense. I understand why y'all down on Collins now, because though Randall had 44, Collins, his 20 and 10 is kind of it's not a game changer. He's not closing out. He doesn't. Yeah, I see what the issue is with Collins after watching tonight. He doesn't.
The issue is he ain't getting that bag of money from Atlanta, and he ready to go. That's the issue, and they ready to get him gone as well, right? But they want a lottery pick. type player in return for Collins. So that's all about the money. But whatever happened with Trae Young and Collins, these guys had chemistry. But look, some new places in the face, whether it be Clint Capella or the improved game, DeAndre Hunter, they don't want to commit a bag of money to Collins. But back to the Knicks. 44 points in 40 minutes. Come on, man. 44, 9, and 5. Randall shot 64% from the field. 7 of 13 from 3. Who told him he could take 13 3-pointers? I guess
why not?
New NBA, making them 54%. And
you know what it looks like right now on the turnaround? On the turnaround, it kind of look like Bernard King on the turnaround.
Let him finish.
Come on.
You know Nas ain't going to let you get off. Nas trying to stop your shine. Hey, Knicks going to make the playoffs.
Hold on. Let Royce finish. Let Royce finish because I want to get this. I got a lot of stuff here. Let Royce finish. Finish, Royce.
No, you good. The Knicks going to make the playoffs. Look, R.J. Barrett's been struggling for the last, 4 or 5 games, and he got off on Atlanta, man. Like, he got off. 57% from the field, 8 of 14. Perfection from the beyond the arc, 2 of 3 from the line. 21, 6, and 3 with a steal. Look, man, this was a good game for the New York Knicks. Yes, it's a good thing to bring quickly off the bench next to Rose, like you said, so he can't get trapped so forth and so on. He can do his thing, getting that 3 ball up. That's what he's good at. This young Knicks team has a decent core. They got a nice head coach. Obviously, everybody's going to talk about, what they think about Tiz running players in the ground. But just go through everybody's box score. You know how many guys play 36, 37 minutes a night? Look, I don't want to hear that foolishness about Tibbs runs his guys in the ground. You want to get paid, don't you? And you want to play your minutes and do something with those minutes that you've been allotted. That being said, Hawks and Knicks, both teams will find their way into the top 8 this season, whether that's with the 7-10 play-in.
Luau Ding is on the other line. He said, Royce, you tripping. He said the 36 minutes add up. But
Danny Ferry got a little accident.
36 minutes, and so 36 minutes plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seasons add up, right? Like, these dudes, how many seasons has R.J. Barrett been in the league?
You gotta let time win your argument for you. But look, I hear what y'all saying about Quigley. I disagree from this standpoint. That kid could be something special, and I would much rather him learn what he has to do as far as, not in the same way. I'm talking about keys to the offense learning as the point guard, learning how to deal with traps, learning how to deal with zone defense, learning where his shots are. I would much rather see that kid out there 30 minutes than I would him having this kind of shared role with Rose and, Peyton and all these guys. Like I said,
but he's playing the whole
as the season goes along.
He's playing the whole
fourth quarter most of the
time. I mean, we don't want to develop bad habits like an Atlanta point guard where you don't want to play D and alienate teammates. We don't want that to fester. Right now they all getting along, and we'll just go with that. In the all season, let them get stronger, come back like Randall, take it to the next level. I think sometimes New York, they panic. They think it's a Rucker tournament where you let them run the whole tournament. Whoa. I see why Tibbs, with him, I see why. Like, when you watch ball, he's a little smallish, and he's a little different. So he plays tough defense. He still picks up full court. One of the few guys in the league who still tries to do that. But, everyone's still getting used to their roles and just let them just push and learn together. Because right now the expectation is if you get in the playoffs, not in the play-in game, if New York gets to like a 6 or 7 seed, then you take the lead. You give them the keys in the playoffs and let them run wild.
Y'all gonna drop confetti again? Y'all make it to the first round? But look, LP Payton is gonna become.
What do you say?
LP Payton.
Hey man, New York gonna use the same way Miami used Tyler Hero.
That trickle down.
El Payton is going to become a problem for them later in the season. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, the honeymoon now. We'll see how this goes. But to his point about Trae alienating teammates, I don't think he's alienating teammates. I think Collins just has a problem with him. This is a T.O. McNabb situation. Yo, man, you the franchise guy. You can go in there and talk to them about my money. How come you won't talk to them about my money? And Trey, like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Nah, bruh. Collins, he wants
Trey, like, I'm trying to get my bag, brother. Hold up.
Well, they traded Luka for him. That bag is already on the way.
Hold on, hang on. Wait, hold on. I gotta pay bills. Shout out to Power 103 Radio. Here with the Sports City Chefs. Okay, let me continue to roll on. Just before we get back into that discussion, there is a hibachi sighting. Somebody is getting cooked right now in the NBA. So please do not look like Daffy Duck with your beak blown off. There's a cooking going on right now. In the beginning of the fourth quarter, the Utah Jazz are up 110-96 in front of the Philadelphia 76ers, in which you would think I would say Donovan Mitchell is going off. Oh, no. It is Jordan Clarkson. Beginning of the fourth, 34 points, 12 for 17 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. I don't really want to throw that one in there, but he's cooking off of the bench right now. So this is happening up against one of the league's best, if not the best in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers. So
yeah, without Embiid, let's be cool. Without Embiid, Ben Simmons is cooking tonight as well. Shout out to Ben.
Thank you.
And
19
for those that don't know,
Hold on.
John Wall came back to D.C. tonight and went the hell off, too. Let's make sure we give everybody their flowers today. Of course, JaVale McGee has 10 and 5 right now. Shout out to JaVale going back to Golden State. Two-time champion JaVale McGee.
Oh, my God.
All this on President's Day.
McGee and cooking ain't never been in any sentence.
Wait.
McGee left the stove, leaving the gas on? Yes. McGee cooking? No.
Lord have mercy. These dudes, there's no justice, no peace. I'm telling you. Now, don't get me wrong. Ben is going to have it looks like he should end up with a 40-point night. 37, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. He should have a triple-double if this does go right.
Now.
Oh, he hit another free throw. Okay, so 38, 8, and 7. Okay. So I hope he does end up with a triple-double. This is a very interesting game. The league's best are going at it, and Donovan is having a mild night, close to 50% from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, but Clarkson is going off, and basically majority of his shots are missed from taking threes. Everything else he's been close to perfect.
Cooking.
And I give credit for Nas, like probably taking more advantage of the situation that Embiid isn't in the paint. So I will attest that. But whichever guard is stepping out there trying to check them, they're getting it. They're getting it. So that is.
Man, Jordan Clarkson, a professional scorer against Philadelphia's second unit. Like, there is no defender on that second unit that could actually do anything with Jordan Clarkson once he gets rolling. And if it was a different night, and if this was a different Ben Simmons, he would put it, he put the fire out, right? But Ben is offensive-minded. Clearly, Doc has been in the ears of Tobias and Ben. This game is not about bragging rights in the regular season between Philly and Utah as far as Doc Rivers is concerned, and my best guesstimation. Ben Simmons, ladies and gentlemen, has 20 field goal attempts in 29 minutes, and there's still 8 minutes left in the game.
He just went coast to coast.
You're talking about a guy who doesn't shoot more than 10 times the game on average. He's at 20. Tobias Harris averages like 14.5 field goal attempts per game. He is at 20. This is about getting a different kind of chemistry, getting a different type of mentality from these two players, whether Embiid is present or absent. This is a welcome sight to your boy, a Philadelphia 76er fan, to see Ben Simmons going at it like this. 20 field goal attempts plus 13 field goal attempts. He's shooting 70% from the field and 92% from the free throw line. Who is this man? Are we sure this isn't LeBron James? Are we sure?
Oh.
Because everybody talks about he's the next LeBron or he could be LeBron-esque. Well, this is what it takes to be LeBron-esque. You got to shoot the ball. You got to get to the line. And you got to make a difference in the score in the win column. So they're only down 8 times. Plenty of time for my guys to steal this one on the road in Utah.
Yeah, and Jordan Clarkson, just to show the greatness of Jordan Clarkson, 34 points, no rebounds, 1 assist. Shout out to my professional scorer. You know what I'm saying? He ain't out there for none of that, man. He out here to get buckets. That's it, bro. That's what he showed
Jordan Shepard Clarkson. We're going to call him Shepard.
1 assist. Salute to my guy, man. But
okay, so they
I think we also
8,
need to throw some respect on. Can I throw this in there, Thomas, before you do that? I think we also need to throw some respect on Snyder's name. Coach Snyder is everything people think Brad Stevens is.
Right. No, I give you a ton of respect on that. Quinn Snyder has turned it around. I used to be brutal on Quinn Snyder when he came from the college ranks, but knowing that he was under the tutelage of Coach K and implementing that into the league has been pretty big, and getting his team to buy into team basketball. I got to give Quinn Snyder his credit, and them actually going with the hot hand throughout the season. But they don't play that, I'm going to take my shots when it's my turn. Like, no, they'll give Donovan the ball when necessary, or these guys take the legit right shot when they're wide open and able to connect. So I give Quinn a ton of respect in this run they are in at the beginning of the season. 12-2 at home. Hopefully they can seal the deal. Philly is actually tightening this thing up, and it's the Ben Simmons show because he just scored the other bucket just now with 42 points within this game. I heard something today, right? And I want to see how you guys feel about it. Now, notably, we've been talking about the names of MVP caliber or MVP candidates for this season, right? And there was a game that went down last night between the Dallas Mavericks and the Portland Trail Blazers, in which Luka went off. Luka had another 40-point night, and looking like he's trying to, push the envelope for him to get this team back into playoff relevancy. There's somebody that points at their wrist right around the fourth quarter and starts making big shots. Now, we have the likes of LeBron James. We have the likes of Steph Curry, where people may feel a certain way. We got Joel Embiid. We have Kevin Durant. Just trying to throw a couple of these names out. Giannis is another name that they throw in the MVP situation. Paul George has been thrown out there as well. But is Damian Lillard in the conversation, especially for him knocking down a jump shot late in his game to put them up? He did it in Chicago this season too, knocking down a shot on the road as well. I want to know if you guys think he is in the conversation and should remain there while C.J. McCollum is out, Jokic is out, and basically been carrying this team as much as possible. Eric, I'll come to you first and start throwing this one around the cafe.
Well, Luka Doncic is always going to be in that category, but as far as Damian Lillard, I don't know. It's hard telling. He's playing good right now, but the way Portland is playing, we talked about on the other show that MVP is if your team's doing well. So stat-wise, he's there, 29 points a game, 7.3 assists, but the Portland Trailblazers aren't doing much. So right now I wouldn't have him in that category because there's a lot of other players like him. And Joel Embiid and Jokic are my top 2 right now for MVP candidate. They make their teams better. So that's who I'm rolling with. I wouldn't get carried away saying Damian Lillard is an MVP candidate just yet.
That's interesting because Jokic is having a heck of a season, but Portland is actually playing better ball as a team. So this is interesting. I do like that debate. That's an interesting one. Who should have the better leg up, Jokic or Lillard? I'm saving Royce for last on this one. I am going to go around the kitchen and see how they feel about this one. Naj, your thoughts on Lillard for what he's been able to do in this season with everything that's been thrown Portland's way? Should he get some consideration to be a candidate? Do you agree with what Eric threw out there, or anything else that you like to allude to from what Damian's been able to do in this season?
Yeah, I think Eric's comments were really good, really reasonable. I think Royce kind of laid the ironclad case for MVP for Embiid last week, and I think it's probably the perfect case. But I would kind of pivot. Instead of talking about MVP for Luka and Dame, we need to be talking about which All-NBA team they're going to be on. Steph Curry as well. The teams they're on don't have the type of season to where you could say they were so dominant this year that they deserve the MVP. Like, you'd have to be front-running to an amazing degree to win MVP, and you're the, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever kind of seed like that. So I would just say these guys are premier players now, and we're going to see them on all NBA teams for the rest of their career. And they're going to be an MVP consideration when the rest of their roster is built in a way to where they're competing for the top seed or 60 games and things like that. But right now, they're just doing what all NBA guys do. You carry teams that are a little bit less than to where, to a little farther than what is expected. But that ain't being dominant. That ain't MVP.
So can you answer the question without tweaking it? Is he in the discussion?
I told you, all NBA. No.
Oh, so he's okay. So he's not in the discussion. Ron, your thoughts on Damian Lillard? Should he be considered to be a candidate for the MVP or not? And I actually like the way Nas just took the temperature on that. Is it more all NBA player, first, second, or third team? Your thoughts on Damian Lillard's impact on this season for the Trailblazers?
Well, with Damian, it's his stock is rising right now. But if he goes down, if he burns himself out and they only another 7 seed, what does that say? Right now they trend. I think they're in the 5th seed right now, and they turn things around as of right now. So with the MVP, it only goes the last quarter of the season, and that's like it's too early now. Especially you've seen what happened with LA with Anthony Davis. So is LeBron going to burn himself out playing every night going hard, or is it going to be a team that's a number 1 seed, number 2 seed with the best player? That's traditionally how it goes, except for the Westbrook year when he had the triple-double. So that caught everybody's eye. But traditionally, it's the top player on the top team, unless someone's doing something statistically like NBA breaking. So with Lillard, I think if he's smart, if he carries them to like the 3 seed with that current roster, that's like. But if LA comes back to the pack with this Anthony Davis and LeBron starts taking games off, and if Denver starts slipping up, and if the Blazers, it depends where the Blazers at. If they like in the top 3, yeah, you have to put him up there. He's got to be in the top 3. But if he finished 6th or 7th, then it makes no. You can put him all NBA. You got to elevate. The MVP has to elevate his team to goals they have to overachieve. That's why Steve Nash got 2 stolen MVPs, if we judge him by that criteria.
Don't get that started. It'll be a whole riot in here if you start talking about that Nash MVP run. Please stop. Please stop. I have a current Laker fan in the cafe. Don't you do it. Royce, your thoughts on what you've heard thus far? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think Damian Lillard belongs in the MVP conversation?
Thomas, I'm going to treat this like the old game we used to play as kids, hot potato. No. Now I'm passing it back to you.
Okay, fair enough. There were some big wigs talking about it, saying that Damian Lillard belongs in the discussion. That is why I tried to bring that leftover in here, and they threw it right back out. Everybody said it. Everybody said no. Interesting.
Exactly.
It depends where they finish. If the Blazers overachieve and finish like number 2, best record in the West, then yes.
No.
But
no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There's some guns out west. You're right. No, I agree with you, Ron. I don't even want to steal it from you like that. I agree with you. If they finish second in the West, then yes. If the Blazers finish second in the West, yes. Yes, I give them credit. Or somebody like TJ got to come back and put on a cape and go crazy. Like, I don't think that'll happen, though. But crazier things have occurred. Or they have occurred.
I mean, for a while they were talking about Luka, and they not even in the playoff playing picture right now. And they kept Luka's name out there just because of stats.
Well,
Uh,
before the
that's a
season
whole
started,
other.
just because of the usage and the numbers, everybody had Luka as the front runner. But once they started off badly and way behind,
Luka
that
got
hurt
off to a slow
Oh, yeah,
start
he was a
with
little
his
heavy.
three-point shooting. But Luka, over the last 3 games, guys, 39 points, 10 assists, 8.5 rebounds, 4 made threes, a steal, and a block, shooting 50+% from the field over the last 3 games. He's heating up and justifying why he was in the early discussion, before anybody was playing and they were giving him odds-on favorite based on last year's numbers. But he struggled early without KP on the floor, where everything was coming to him, and his 3-ball wasn't falling. But that step-back 3 is warming up. He is getting loose with it now. We all saw it this weekend, 2 out of 3 games. Put up monster numbers, man. He'll make a case. He has the Mavericks sitting number 10 right now for that Western Conference play-in. They're 13 and 15, 9.5 games out of first place. The Portland Trailblazers are 5.5 games out of first place. And so at 22 and 5 for Utah, 16 and 10 for Portland, like you guys were saying about, Lillard having a chance for MVP, if the pack comes back, the leaders of the pack start to come back to the pack, anything could happen. And if that occurs, and Dallas can go from 5 and 5 over their last 10, and maybe over the next 10, turn that into 8 and 2 or 9 and 1. Hey, we could be talking about a whole other conversation in a couple of weeks, guys.
Yeah,
and I
think Luka came in a little heavy too to start. Go ahead.
Well, New York, we need them to go the opposite. We need them to go 3 and 7. We need that pick.
Yes, sir. Always stay rebuilding. Get them picks. Get every asset you can, and that's how you do it. No, that's how you do it. I love what the Knicks are doing right now. They're not capped out and crazy like they were a few years back. They got young pieces, and you're going to keep adding on. But to the Luka thing, he started off the season kind of overweight, man. He was a little heavy to start the season, and you can kind of tell just by looking at him. It looks like he's in much better shape now. Things are flowing. But, again, there's limitations to what they do. And after a while, you're going to have to take the ball out of Luka's hands sometimes. You're going to have to figure out a way to get some flow offensively to where Luka don't have to put on a cape every night. Because what you're asking him to do, that just ain't it, man. It's just not. And we saw that. Go ahead.
Can I ask you guys a question? Would it be wrong to suggest that the Mavericks build around Luka like teams build around LeBron? Would it be wrong to take a player who literally his whole game has been influenced by LeBron James, right? And you can see it in his play. Wouldn't it make more sense to try to find the type of talent and players, and not the Cleveland LeBron, obviously more of the Miami LeBron, because it was a balanced approach in terms of attack. You knew who was capable of doing what, you saw the coaching, and so forth and so on. If I'm Mark Cuban, I'm going to study, dissect that run of Miami. Was that a 3-year period, 4-year period?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get that type of talent around Luka Doncic. Is it? Am I getting warm?
No,
cold?
That's a perfect breakdown, man. I agree with that 100.
I think he tried.
The Pacers, Miami era.
He went with the KP. That was supposed to be his Robin. It's just the kid can't stay healthy. So do you abort that plan?
Yeah, well, KP would have to. So here's what I'm thinking, right? That if you're following the Miami plan, KP is boss. Like, where's Wade? You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but
I don't think
situation
KP is the guy that allows what Nas just pointed out. Where you can get Luka off ball doing some other things. You need another guy who can really create and be dynamic and close out games and actually win games for you if he must.
And he can
who's on that
start.
list?
He can have a longer rest period in after the first quarter, middle of the second. Just remember that pace and space Miami era. What was it about? Getting as many shooters, movers, pickers, and defenders as you could around Wade, Bosh, and LeBron. So you can do the same thing. I would say, because I know they're not going to do this now, you can't flip KP now because you're going to get a lot less for him because he's probably not at his best right now. But you need a dynamic wing to play with Luka, to share some of the ball handling responsibilities, share some of the offensive load. Luka would actually become a better defender with a little more rest. And you could actually move Maxi Kleber into that Bosh role that KP is in now as the stretch big. And you just need that dynamic wing, man. I'm not saying Maxi is as good as KP. I'm not making that comparison. I'm just talking about
skill set.
The pieces that they have. Yeah. It's going to be hard to get that wing they need.
I got it.
Cole Washington.
You got it. Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you. Did you hear him?
Cole Washington.
He got it out before I could get it out. That's why I kept saying, I got it. Go get Bradley Beal, Mark Cuban, and don't touch nothing else. Don't move Luka. Don't move KP. Go get Bradley Beal, and then everybody else that needs to fit a role from season to season around those three, much like Miami made sure that they made the salaries work, pay the three heavy lifters, and go from there. And then you ain't got to wait for LeBron to retire. You ain't got to worry about if AD is healthy. KP, Bradley Beal, and Luka Doncic, warm it up. Get it started.
How, Sway?
What?
Because, see, the way the Miami situation happened, both of them got signed and took less money. Beal just signed an extension. If you make a trade, the salary's got to match. You don't have picks because all your picks is in New York.
Spots, right? Let me work on my spots, right? It might not be the right one, right? It might not be the one. But you need somebody like a Beal.
Right. That's the guy, though. I mean, y'all said the guy who they actually need, like the guy who would make them instant championship contenders. And yes, because of salary restrictions, it would be a little tough. But remember, in Miami those years, it was tough every year. Every year they had to make a hard cut and bring in some veteran guy on the minimum afterwards to try to – remember Chris Anderson coming in the middle of the season. Like, those are the type of guys you're going to have to sign after that. You got to get all the veteran guys who played, who are going to play for the minimum because they want to play with those two guys or those three guys. But to me, the only way to get there is you got to give up KP. But that's going to be tough. But I think you have to give him up because, like he just said, you don't really have a pick. So.
Okay, so let me update you on the contract extension so you don't have to worry too much about it. So, Bradley Beal, new deal, is a 2-year deal for $71. He's going to get $34 from 21 to 22, and from 22 to 23, he's getting $37. So in the summer of 2023, at age 30, he's an unrestricted free agent. I can manage that.
Supermax.
If I'm Cuban, I'm figuring it out. I got my financial people in the office right now. This is what you got to remember is who else we got. So we got to bring up Dallas's salary cap. Luka is still on his rookie deal. Luka's still on his rookie deal. He's only making somewhere around like $8 to $9 million this season. So Porzingis is the guy who's getting the most money. So I'm bringing up Porzingis' contract right now.
Hallway got a crazy deal too.
Making basically 29 and change. In 21-22, it'll go to around $31 million. In 22-23, it'll jump to $33. 23-24, he'll be at $36. In 2024, that summer at age 29, he'll be an unrestricted free agent. And so the best player in Luka Doncic, in terms of the youngest, the franchise guy at 21 going on 22 years of age, he's in the perfect position to make the sacrifice. Because, let's see, this season, like I said, is a little over $8 million, like 8.1. 2021-22 season, he's going to get $10 million at age 22, and then they have the qualifying offer for the 22-23 at around $13 million, and in the summer of 2022 at age 24, he's a restricted free agent. That's the move. That's the move. That is the move. Oh, my God.
I don't think they could do it by themselves. I think they will have a third team because they don't have enough assets. Cause right now, Washington's trying to figure out how to move Westbrook $40 million over the next few years to help Beal.
Well, they don't have to rush it, right? Like, I'm not saying, like, rush it and go get – you don't even got to go get Beal right now. You don't even got to go get him right now. For the next 2 seasons, like, that contract is only, 2 seasons, that new extension. So the last deal he signed, he's in the final year of that. The new extension, which is a 2-year extension, that's two seasons. So, like I said, the summer of 2023, when he's unrestricted free agent, you snatch him up. Now, we know that, quote-unquote, people shouldn't be tampering. But guess who's listening to us right now? Players, GMs, teammates, players, friends, and family. And they're going to get whiff of this idea. They're going to be like, yo, if they never thought of it, they're going to be like, you know what? Let's look into that. Have your guys call my guys. You know what? Let's get together.
That's the piece.
Let's go.
That's the piece, right?
What they call the banana boat. Let's get on the boat.
Yeah, that's the piece. And if y'all remember that Miami situation when they first came in, you remember what Pat Riley and them did? They cut or traded everybody, and I think it was like a month, they only had like 4 players on the roster because they said, okay, we'll just fill the rest out as we go.
I remember
and they just
that.
did it by minimum signings, little trades or whatever. Shipped out a lottery pick in Michael Beasley before everybody knew about Michael Beasley's problems. Shipped him out to make it work. So if you take that same mentality to this, where you just say we need this piece and we'll figure it out, I can see it, man. Because we had this conversation about Luka in the MVP race, and again, they have to get top 2 for him to be even involved in it. We're going to have that same conversation for the next decade. Kid's 21.
Okay. Wait. Hold on. Settle down, because y'all are doing too much eating, and there's things to still be discussed. You guys are going crazy off of these dishes, and I got to talk. There is a bigger dish than what we have going on here. So now, without any further ado, there's an entree to be served. And I feel bad in discussing this entree. But Anthony Davis has an Achilles situation, and they are saying weeks, possible months away from the organization. Now, this is where I bring jalapenos out to spice this thing up, make this thing taste kind of good, brings a little controversy, but I don't care. They call me Tymeless for a reason. I got to make this dish right. Now, there's been year after year after year where LeBron misses the MVP trophy. This is a situation without Anthony Davis. If he can keep these guys top 2 or the best team in the West or league, without any question, you have to turn the lights on LeBron James. Now, I know, I get it. LeBron is always in a discussion, but they don't give it to him because there's other players in the league that have had good or quality seasons that they'll give the leg up or the interest to. But you could not deny LeBron of what he can potentially do with this team if Anthony Davis is out. But I think this is an uphill battle for a guy like LeBron with him being older, going up against the West, and them being the defending champs. They have the bullseye on them, so everybody's coming for the Lakers with or without that title. I want to see how you guys feel about this. I know I'm going to Eric last, but you guys be careful with this plate because Eric has to eat. So you guys get like a good 2-3 forkfuls off of this entree because I have some hungry dogs in this doggone cafe today. Ron, I'll start with you first. Your thoughts on the Lakers situation with Anthony Davis and an Achilles injury that may keep him out for a month or more.
Well, we knew this was going to happen with AD, so this is why LeBron has that. With all the additions they made in the offseason, everyone's going to have to step up. But with LeBron, he cannot keep playing 39 minutes, double overtime games. It's like he's going to have to be – if he's going for the number 1 seed, which he really shouldn't, he's going to have to dial it back too, or he's going to burn himself out. and AD should be sat out into the playoffs. You have to play it safe. So without him, you can't bring him back early. We've seen what happened with KD. And so with this situation where AD wants to sit down until the playoffs, that's the safest bet. LeBron, and they have to do like Hakeem and them, maybe just fall back to the 4th or 5th seed and just go from there. Because there's no fans in the building anyway, and if you're playing the Clippers, y'all both playing in the same arena anyway. If your goal is to get to the conference finals and knock out the Clippers, y'all going to be in the same arena anyway. But you can't go, as LeBron say, playoff mode on February 15th all the way to the play. You can't be in playoff mode from now all the way to the end of the season. He burned himself out. He's 37. He's not LeBron from the Heat. He can't. I'm not gonna say he can't. He shouldn't. He shouldn't. Y'all got it. That team should be enough balance to where everyone should pick up his pieces. Kyle Kuzma need to step up. Montel, all these guys you brought in have to step up. Unless you're gonna make a deal and somebody come available to help. But AD has to be ready for the playoffs. That's the only way they'll be able to have a chance at repeaters.
Okay. Nas, your thoughts on the Lakers and the status of their team with AD being out? And can LeBron actually push the envelope with the heavy lifting, as Royce King would say, for the Los Angeles Lakers?
No, yeah, he could. And I think, as Rob is trying to lay out right there, should he? That's the obvious question there. Like, okay, I don't doubt that LeBron James could keep them in the top seeding and compete for, the MVP trophy. Should you do that with the playoffs looming and you being an older guy and possibly risking the trophy? I would say no. Should you? The more proper thing to do is to sit AD as long as you can, get him as much rehabilitation and rest as needed, and go with what you have. Kuzma and Trez, I think they'll be fine with the added minutes load. I think Dennis will be happy to get a few more shots. KCP will play a little more. So they'll still be a tough team, and they'll handle their business. The question is the organization going to tell LeBron certain nights, like, no, you're sitting tonight? Because he's been probable every night all season, but he played every game. And, you have that responsibility as the face of the league, similar to Jordan and everybody else, that, when the games are on TV, people want to see you, so you need to show up. There becomes a selfishness thing here to where it's like, yo, I'm worried about winning chips, so no, I'm not going to do that. And then as far as the Lakers, it ain't even about the championship with AD. It's about him getting the torch after LeBron is done. So you're thinking about even the rest of his career. So, yeah, they got to be real careful with this. But, no, I don't think there's a reason to panic, and it's also not a reason to push the gas pedal all the way to the floor. Easy.
Okay, Royce, your thoughts on the Lakers situation before it gets hot in here, and I'll let the Laker guy get after it. Your thoughts on LeBron, if he can carry the situation, and also your thoughts on Anthony Davis and him suffering another setback within his NBA career.
Well, I'm going to make sure I leave something for Eric, so I'm going to say ditto, I concur, I agree, I echo Ron and Nas' sentiments. It's just that simple. Should LeBron? No, he shouldn't. Can he? Yes, he can. Sit AD and rest him for the playoffs? Absolutely. It's the smartest thing to do. Let the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers play. Continue to list LeBron as probable. Pick and choose your nationally televised games or those matchups where you play him. But how many minutes? Not 36, not 40, 28 to 31 minutes a game for LeBron James. Get what you get. Win some, lose some. They should not be playing for the number 1 or the number 2 seed. Regardless of where a Laker team is seated, with a healthy LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they clearly have what it takes to get all the way to the finals and potentially win it all. But they have to be healthy. They have to be. And so if LeBron has any real desire for the MVP award that is greater than winning another Larry O'Brien trophy, he's going to have to deal with that. So it's probably going to come down to what does LeBron really want? He wants some more respect on his name, or do he want another ring? And if LeBron wants another ring, well, like I said, if they're listening, maybe you take what the three wise men have said under advisement. Now you got a fourth wise man, I'm sure, is going to speak up and maybe say the same thing because he's interested in winning championships because he's a Laker fan.
Okay, Eric, I know this is something that you would love to talk about, even though it's one side of the plate is kind of salty. Your thoughts on Anthony Davis, his status with his health situation, and LeBron trying to help carry the team as best as possible through this regular season until AD returns?
Yeah, well, the good thing is after the MRI, they determined it was his calf, so he's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. I definitely concur with the panel here. I would even go just keep him out a month. You want to make sure he's happy or healthy. You got Markieff Morris that can step up. Harrell, they're going to have to get more out of Gasol. I'm not into having LeBron James burn himself out. They got a good enough team that they need to just play as a team. Don't just let LeBron carry them. They just need to play as a team because LeBron will get burned out too. He's older now, so you don't want to just put all the workload on his back. The rest of the team has to step up. It doesn't matter what seed the Lakers finish in. If they're in the top 8, that's great because they're a whole nother animal when it comes to the playoffs. So I'm not worried about the seeding with them. The main thing is health. You want LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy come playoff time. So definitely rest them. They're going to get some more production. They'll be able to get Markieff Morris out on the floor now. So we'll see what he can do. Harrell can pick up the load. Like Nas just touched on Schroeder, he's a good, he'll want to take some more shots. So they got a good enough team that they're going to stay in contention without Anthony Davis. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about the MVP trophy. I'm just worried about hardware. So, if they can get to the finals and win it again, that's the ultimate concern for Laker fans and the organization. So we're not worried about that other stuff. So it's unfortunate, but it's a good thing it's not his Achilles because that's bad. Then, any time that thing could rupture, even if it's not fully ruptured, you get back out there on the floor and that thing's hurt, it's all bad. So if you're the Lakers, just play the game, get everybody involved. Don't put the workload on LeBron James because that's going to wear him out and risk injury with him too. So just play as a team. These other role players could step up, and I think the Lakers will be fine. It's good news, actually, that it's only his calf. So,
what just grinds my gears is these new Laker fans. These new Laker fans, man, they just grind my gears, man. It's this hardware talk, so on and so forth, man. I don't know, man.
Well, here's the thing. Just like the late, great Kobe Bryant says, and we're spoiled. I've been a Laker fan since birth. I went to my first Laker game at 4 years old. Like in Southern California, that's it's like a religion, to be a Laker fan. So, just like Kobe said, we play for championships here. Everything else is a failure. If we're not winning championships, it doesn't matter. So. And that's the truth. I don't care if we make the playoffs or we don't. If we're not winning hardware, it's a failure.
He just grinding my gears. He just grinding my gears. I don't want to hear that bad. Okay.
We don't care about MVP. We care about hoisting banners.
Celtics in that. It is what it is.
Absolutely. And that's how the Celtics fans feel too. So I'm just speaking for as a Laker fan and what Kobe said. So and that goes for the same with the Celtics. 17 World Championships. We don't play for little accolades and stuff like that. We play to win the game. And if you're not winning a title, it's a failure. And every team should think that way. That's what we're playing this sport for, is to win championships. And we made it to the playoffs. Well, yeah, you made it to the playoffs, but you got eliminated first round. You're finishing second. So it's all about winning banners and getting the Larry O'Brien trophy in this league. And if you're not playing for that, there's a problem.
Do you know Nas is helping Eric grind my gears right now? Like, they're just grinding my gears. I don't want to hear that, man.
It's a true statement. There's nothing wrong with it.
Stop. Can I finish talking, please?
However,
I don't do this when you guys talk. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. No. Wait. Why every time I get started talking, this always happens to me? Like, let me finish talking. You guys talk. I don't interrupt y'all. So do what y'all got to do. Let me finish talking.
You just interrupted me. What do you mean?
How many times have you interrupted me now today? Don't even fly.
You'll be all right,
We're not going to do this comparison.
You'll be all right.
No, I'm not going to be all right. I have to conduct the show.
How many decades before the Thunder are playing for a title again?
Oh, you know what?
Keep it together, Captain. You got this.
Shout out to 103.
Look, and then he got, you know, Port City, this is what they're doing to me, man. I don't even know how to begin to tell you how I feel right now. Okay. So with any further ado, you know, until I was rude.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
That's it. That's all I asked. Yeah. And then these dudes beat me up. So without any further ado, I wanted to say that I am not a Laker fan, but I'm not going to lie. I'm a big Anthony Davis fan, and I don't like the way that he was hurt like that. Like, and it was just a simple drive. Like, he tried to get that push off and couldn't. And when he stopped short and went out of bounds, and Jokic, I'm a fan just to watch how you care for Anthony Davis, knowing that, you know, usually people don't care about if he hurt or not. He was watching him the whole way through, and once Anthony hit that second free throw, Anthony didn't even move. He was just foul. Just foul, and the way he walked off the floor, it looked bad. So I'm just glad that, you know, the thought of how severe it could be in comparison of where he is. I just hope that he heals best, drink some milk or whatever you need to do to get right back out there, even though I don't want to see the Lakers win. So get out there and get healthy and let somebody beat you guys. I don't want to see you beaten and hurt the way Kobe Bryant's career come to a close. Now, here goes a dish or dessert that I'm going to throw out here, and I'd like to see how you guys jump ball for this one. If you guys were picking in a draft, per se, or had GM capability, which guard would you like to build your team around? Ja Morant or LaMelo Ball? I want to see how you guys feel about this one. I'll come to you first, Nas. Your thoughts on this one? Ja Morant or LaMelo Ball, who would you like to build your team around?
Me personally, I'm going Ja all day. He's the more proven product in this particular comparison. Both athletic freaks, both extremely good. But if you're a small market and you're thinking about superstar stuff, it'll be real hard to turn down LaMelo. Because if LaMelo holds up to what he's been doing right now, the star trajectory that he's on that's some other stuff, man. You're talking about that whole reality stuff coming with, you know, mainstream NBA fans and everything else, a built-in fan base adding on to you getting the regular NBA fans as well. So that's what makes it a tough comparison. But from what I saw from Ja last year, man, I'm rolling with that dude Ja, man. That dude is an absolute athletic freak.
We've only seen a couple games of LaMelo now. We've only seen a couple games. Only a couple. He's 19 too. So, and his bag is pretty heavy. I'm just saying. No, I don't even want to sway the opinion. But he played defense, y'all. He played defense. See, Nas slick. Nas slick. I don't care what nobody say. This dude think he's slick. Okay, Eric, your thoughts if you were GM. I get it. I understand.
All right, here's the thing. Ja Morant's one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. But with that being said, I'm going with LaMelo Ball because this kid's only going to get better. He's a facilitator. Ja Morant's a shooting guard, so he's a scorer. You can build around LaMelo Ball. And what he's done in Charlotte this year, he's making that team better. And it's fun to watch him play. I mean, he gets better and better each game. He's definitely by far the rookie of the year, and he's definitely going to win it. There's no question in my mind. So I'm going with LaMelo Ball. The guy is a facilitator. He's by far the best ball brother, and he's not folding under pressure like Lonzo did. So this guy was the number 3 pick, great pick by Michael Jordan over there for his organization. It's like I said, it's made everybody better. Rozier's going off this year. I'd like to see more from Devontae Graham, but that team is playing at a high level. He's a very good facilitator. He knows when to pass the ball. He knows when to shoot. And I think the Charlotte Hornets are going to get into the playoffs this year. They're one of my teams to finish between 6 and 8. So, yeah, LaMelo Ball, hands down.
They are currently ranked 7th in the East. I hope they can hang on to that to make you look good in this one. And it's interesting, 9 and 10, Chicago's 9, the Heat are 10th. I really feel like the Heat could turn this around. Even at 11, the Hawks are at 11 too, and the Hawks were in the top 8 but slid as of recent. They are on a 4-game losing streak, and 2 and 8 out of the last 10. Let me just say it the correct way. I want to get that off my tongue the correct way. Last but not least on this one, Royce, I know we went over this situation. Ja or LaMelo, who would you like to build around if you were the GM or you were in a draft and had to pick between the two?
Echo and ditto, Eric. LaMelo Ball, man, it's no question. It's not close. I'm winning at the gate. I'm winning on the court. When you say build around, I don't think build around traditionally, like you got to get all these pieces to complement a player so he can do his thing in terms of a score. When I think build around LaMelo Ball, all you have to do is get guys who love basketball and want to play with a guard who can make every pass, who will have you laughing, enjoying yourself, going to keep the locker room light, wants to win, can score the ball, like right now for all rookies, guys, in terms of totals. I did this today on the NBA Fantasy GM show on Clubhouse. LaMelo Ball leads all rookies in total points, rebounds, assists, steals. He's second in three-pointers made behind Tyrese Halliburton. I think has 58. LaMelo Ball is at, Halliburton's at 57. LaMelo Ball's at 51, and he's first in double-doubles as a rookie. He has 6 double-doubles. He's shooting 44% from the field and 80% from the line. This guy does not look like a rookie. He is number 1 in every category in terms of totals for the season for all rookies, with the exception of blocks and three-pointers. It's no contest. Eric hit it on the head. Ja Morant, much more, a two-guard. I wouldn't build around him personally. He wouldn't be my number 1 overall pick. I wouldn't think about starting a franchise with Ja Morant. And I like his game. He is raw. He is athletic. He is a dog. He did get it out the mud. All that you can say about him, why you like him, if I'm on the clock, Ja's available and LaMelo's available, I'm taking LaMelo Ball. No hesitation. I win. You lose.
Okay, quick briefing throughout the NBA with the last 3 games going on. Cleveland is losing to Golden State 97-74. The Heat are up 2 on the Clippers, 86-84 in the middle of the Staples Center. And the dynasty of the Sacramento Kings, they are losing 107-88 to Brooklyn at the end of the third quarter. Shout out to Luke Walton being a great coach in the dynasty that he has coming. 3 championships within the next 4 to 5 seasons. I will continue to beat that team, folks.
Hello? Did I get put on another show all of a sudden? What was that?
He making light of some jokes that somebody made a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, what the?
Somebody said Luke Walton was a great coach and that the Kings were going to have a dynasty. I forget where he heard that, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, one of our callers last week was on some good glue talking that.
Right. I am not lying. Eric was there in the flesh. It was happening. And now you're laughing. I was in full throat argument about this, like a dynasty. I said how, which way, and when, with all of the guns that you listen. There's a shotgun, there's a Uzi, there's a 45. There's so many guns in the Western Conference. You said Sacramento was going to be a dynasty in the next 4 to 5 seasons, and he said, "No, listen, you're laughing." He said Luke Walton is a great, not good, a great coach. I was going to war in here. Do you hear me? To war. To the point. I got into a big argument.
That's a wild take right there. Yeah,
that's not even a take. That was just to get somebody to come for me. But you want to know the crazy part is that everybody in the kitchen was like, "Listen, come on, stop it now. Stop trying to get Ty worked up. They telling him to cut it out. And I just sat back like Biggie in the courtroom, filing his nails. You know what I'm saying? I had to. I just
we spent 25 minutes on that psychobabble.
That is a wild take, bro. All right.
Hey, yo, quick question, Ty. Did Ben Simmons jump center for the Sixers tonight? Because he finished with 42, 9, and 12. Is that what Magic had when they beat my Sixers back in 80?
Oh, Magic had 42, 15, and 7. Magic's numbers were a little bit more gaudy. A little bit more.
15 and 7. Well, 42, 9.
Ben Simmons can perform on this on a nightly basis.
Right, but Magic. Wait. Well, hold on. I know you ain't trying to get it twisted because this is a good game by Ben. This is awesome by Ben, but this is the difference. Ben Simmons is what, 26, 25? Magic was what, 20?
No, he's 25.
Magic was fresh. Listen, Magic was fresh out of Michigan.
No, I don't think we get carried away here. Ben Simmons needs to perform on this like a nightly basis for the Sixers to be.
No. Please don't take it like I'm. Wait. Hold on. Please don't take this like I'm poo-pooing Ben Simmons' game tonight. Like I think this can be him. If he just played confident, I feel like his confidence is more than what Lonzo Ball's is, but I feel like they near the same room confidently. Just let them go out there and play their game. But I'm just being funny because Royce brought that to my attention like that, and I'm like, he know I'm a big Magic fan, even though I don't like the Lakers. I love everything Magic did, especially with that boy being a rookie and Kareem had to sit down. He did that as a rookie. That's a whole nother.
I was just trying to reach out and touch you since you didn't respond to my OKC bait. Feel me?
Yeah.
What OKC?
Had to hit him with.
What OKC? See, look, you over there jumping in there too, sticky fingers. Look, that's
terrible. When I asked you how many decades before the Thunder are competing for a championship.
This decade right here, the Thunder will have a championship by 2027.
Sir.
So y'all, tell me who the hell y'all trading for, because it ain't in house now. Clearly,
I got 7 years to get it together with all
they're
those
getting
things.
Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm just asking for some kind of idea. I want to see what kind of visionary you might be. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Y'all got to roll a scratch off ticket. Right, y'all got to roll a scratch off ticket, but don't start saying you got the money.
Stop it. He asked me, listen, are you? Wait, hold on. I mean, you live in Atlanta, Georgia, and your name is Nas. You know what I'm saying? I thought that he said Tymeless. I live in Connecticut. I'm an East Coast cat. Feel me? You don't got to answer for me. I can handle this. You ain't got to do this. Settle down. Wait, hold on.
I'm just here to provide good radio, man. I'm sorry for providing good radio. Right?
I'm not doing a good job at that. Am I doing something wrong? Just tell me.
I
think it's the perfect plug for 103.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I'm gonna think my joke is funnier than the joke you were gonna say, of course, because it's mine. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Hey, Nas, they ain't winning no chip. They ain't winning no chip, Nas, with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander as their franchise player.
Yeah, one of them.
So they're gonna have to tear down whatever they think they're building right now and find their guy.
Yeah. One of the scratch-offs got to come through. That's what I was saying. They got a roll of scratch-off tickets, but we don't know what they are yet. So
I wouldn't throw in the towel on Alexander just quite yet, though.
No, I didn't say throw in the towel. I just said he is not a franchise player. He is not the number one option. When the Los Angeles Clippers drafted him, they didn't draft him like, he a franchise player. So then a season and a half later, he ends up in Oklahoma City, and just because Chris Paul came in and played 1 year with you does not make you a franchise player. He's still a role player.
He's a good piece, though. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, he's a good piece.
Not a franchise
he's a manufacturer.
Him and Bazley together, I like what they're doing over there in OKC. They just need some more pieces, like you've all touched on. And they definitely can build around what they have.
They got to find 3 teams steal their franchise player by sending them all some players and 5 picks apiece, since y'all got 77 of them.
Yeah, but Ty, don't let Royce get you down. He's the beneficiary of what y'all doing right now. They had the process in Philly where they took all them picks and did the same thing. So Royce enjoying that right now. Don't let him knock y'all too much for doing what they did. Y'all doing right. Keep stacking them picks.
Yeah, look, it's my Tymeless note. It's my birthday week. My young boy, young Benny Simmons, young Benjamin, out here looking like the player we've been begging him to be for how many seasons? 42, 12, and 9 on 26 shots, 58% from the field, 92% from the line. He only missed 1 free throw. I've been seeing him shoot with the right hand and the left hand. I don't know what Doc Rivers is doing, but keep it up, Glenn Doc Rivers. And Tobias Harris, 58% from the field, 14 to 24, 3 of 5 from 3. That's 60%, people. 5 of 5 from the line for 36, 10, 2 assists, 2 steals. Hey, we might have lost, but we won tonight. Do you understand what I'm saying? For the big picture, we won tonight. Ben Simmons, with this attitude, this type of assertion, what? Give it to me. Let's go. You don't want to see us. You don't want to come to Philly. We're going to have home court advantage throughout the East. It's going to be a problem. Guaranteed.
Okay, Sports City.
Good,
shout out to Power103Radio.com for them holding us down and actually putting us on the map, especially for this evening. I'm not buying anything that Nas tried to put out there trying to sweeten this thing up, and hearing Royce try to get me all up into a corner, getting ready to fight my way out with all of this money.
That's why you don't help people.
Okay. Why can't I do my closeout? Why does it always be like this, man? Like, what's wrong? Do I make you itch that much? I'm going to just say, just make you talk something. Like, I don't know what this is. And it's Nas all the time. Like, them boys in the dirty don't play for real. The people in Atlanta do not play. They do not play. And I got family in the A. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And I know how to work with these people, man. It's just sad, man. It's just sad. Oh, okay. So we are at the end of the show. I need plugs and closeouts from each of you, since these guys finally let me get a good 10 seconds of fresh air on the air. You see what I'm saying? Like, I got to do it that way. I got it. So, Nash, now you can speak. Give me a plug, closeout, shout-out. I know it was a tough day up against New York, but I'll let you close out with anything that you may add as we get out of the cafe.
No, man, Ralph Tresvant is very popular nowadays. People get sensitive. So I feed my time to Tymeless, because Tymeless appears to really want to talk. So let me give you my time, man, so you get a little more time.
This is terrible. See, Sports City, see what I go through, man? I call these people my brothers, man. And this is how they treat me, man. They really treat me like this, man.
Y'all funny, Nas, I like that.
And then Roy's go ahead and pump him up.
Punch,
Look. And Roy's going to go ahead and pump him up. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what's wrong with America today. All right. Royce, I need a plug, close out, shout out, anything that you like to promote. And please don't get into your Naj bag because Naj already emptied out enough here at the cafe.
Shout out to Powell 103 for holding us down. Man, you can check us out. Check me out Monday through Friday doing my thing over on the app Clubhouse. So if you got your iPhone, you can rock with us. NBA on CH Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. NBA Fantasy GM. Got all your NBA Fantasy goodies. If you want to check in with us, Thomas sometimes is over there rocking with us when he's available. We got a lot going on. He's doing a lot of work for Sports City 7 days a week. But every now and then we get him to pop in with us. He might rock out on the NBA on CH Daily Show from 5 to 6, where we get into all things NBA action. We're trying to get some of the other chefs onto the NBA on Clubhouse. We got a little group over there, a little BTU family. That's Basketball Talk University, LLC. We doing our thing, man. Can't do it without my brothers. So, any and everywhere there's a ball and a microphone, we there to get our conversation on. Once again, thank you, 103.
See, now that's when Royce started playing the fence. He was on that side, man. He was falling for Nas, and then he came back. So I'm thankful, man. I'm thankful that Royce cleaned up these dishes, man, because I swore I didn't want to have to use the dishwasher today, because I cook and I clean. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good dude, But Nas really said the Ralph Tresvant. Wow. Eric, I need a plug, close out, shout out. See? Get it on.
All right,
you want to get all out this.
Yep.
Eric.
A shout out to all my brothers, Nas, Royce, Tymeless. You already know. Great show again tonight. This is the Master Chefs edition on Power 103 Radio and SportsCityChefs.com. Check us out. The merch, the blogs, the interviews. We're doing it, folks. Thank you, all the listeners out there. We appreciate you. Everyone have a blessed night.
This is what I'm talking about. See, some people hold me down and help me through any situation. The snow. And some brothers, they just going to remain crabs in the barrel. Shout out to Power103Radio.com. Shout out to the chefs. Shout out to everybody in Sports City, SportsCityChefs.com. We got blogs. We got new bloggers. We got new talent. We got new shows up here. I'm at it 6 days a week in Sports City. I even got another show sitting up here on NBA or CH. I'm doing so much trying to get us off the ground and rolling. We deserve to be noticed. We put so much fire in the air. I hope y'all see the smoke. Food for thought. I hope that you still are doing these dishes. On that note, tell a friend that it's the chefs again. And if they don't know, they better tell Nas to chill out in his doggone kitchen for real. Now they know.
Sports City, chefs. Sports City, chefs. Sports City, chefs. Sports City, kaboom. Sports City chefs is in the room, cooking up hot topics to put up on your spoon. They well in tune, bloom like a flower in June. Superman verse MF Doom, the clouds loom. So tell a friend it's the Sports City chefs again. Pay attention, tune in, we on the set again. Sports City, chefs. Sports City, chefs. Yeah.
Woo! Connecticut.